Hey everyone. In this video, I want to talk to you about why you shouldn't overthink social blunders. This is something that is far more common among introverts than extroverts, which makes sense because on average, introverts, since they don't really gain any energy from social interaction with other people, they tend to avoid that, which means they're usually pretty shy or they may not have the best social skills. So when it comes to interacting with other people, if they make a mistake or if they have a social faux pas or just create an awkward situation, they are going to overthink the crap out of that situation, which is a bad thing. So, I want to talk about why you shouldn't do this. You see, the truth here is that even when you create awkward situations with other people, usually people aren't going to be thinking all that much about you and how you created that situation, especially if it's awkward. They're going to be feeling that awkwardness as well. So it's not like it only affects you and not them at all. They're probably going to feel some extent of it as well. But beyond that, in these situations, people usually are going to forget them very quickly. Like, you have no idea how quickly people tend to forget social interactions like that, especially if it's a small one where you just interact with the person for a short period of time and you make a mistake and then you don't see them for like days. They're going to forget that interaction most likely. So never overestimate people's ability to remember things because the odds are they're probably just not going to remember those social faux pas. And in the cases where, say, you're out in public and you have a social faux pas, yet again, even if people around you witness what you do and maybe smirk or giggle at it, which isn't really going to happen all that much. I mean, all the few times where I've done this, nobody really laughs at me or reacts because most people know that that's a rude thing to do, so they're just not going to engage in that behavior if they have any sort of manners. And if they do engage in that behavior, why do you care what they think of you? Because, like I just said, that would prove that they don't have manners, right? So why do you care about their opinion? If they don't have manners, they're probably not the best people out there. So their opinion has less value than other people who have actually, strive to be good people out there. So when you do encounter somebody who laughs at you for these things, which, like I said, will be very, very, very rare, you shouldn't care what they think of you anyway. That's a shitty person. Who cares about their opinion? Their opinion holds no value whatsoever, so don't sweat it. But beyond that, when you do have those interactions with, say, a cashier, or you're buying a movie ticket and the cashier tells you to enjoy your drink and you say you too when they're clearly not going to be drinking anything because they're working, don't sweat it. Do you have any idea how often that cashier is probably used to hearing somebody repeat that to them? They probably don't even think that you're awkward or introverted for doing so. They probably just think that you're so engaged in your thoughts that when they said something to you, you just responded with the casual you too, because that's a pretty common response in social situations. They probably aren't going to judge you for it at all. I used to be a cashier at a coffee shop years ago, actually, at this point, almost a decade ago, and I can tell you this would happen not super common, but it would happen usually amongst younger people who seemed shy. They occasionally I would tell them, "Hey, enjoy your drink," after I made it for them, and they would say "you too," and then immediately blush. And while sometimes I would smile at them, I immediately wouldn't remember it afterwards because I'd be so focused on working that I would forget it happened, or I would just smile for a little bit, maybe get a little chuckle out of it and wink at them or just have some fun with it and then go on with my day. I wouldn't care about it at all. It wouldn't make me think less of the person, especially because I probably wouldn't see them again for quite some time. So that's the way it is for most social workers, or service workers, should I say. They're likely not going to remember any of these faux pas if you happen to have one with them. I mean, there have been times where I'm buying food at the grocery store and being checked out by a grocer and they say something like enjoy your food, and I literally said you too a few times because I wasn't thinking. I thought they said have a good day instead because that's normally what people say, so I was just on autopilot. I assumed that's what they said, so I said you too, and then afterwards I was like, wait a minute, that's not what they said. They didn't say have a nice day. They said enjoy your food. And I said you too. So that's kind of weird. But then I just shrug it off and keep going because they're not going to think anything of it and you shouldn't either. Just continue on with your day. They're likely not going to remember it eventually. They'll forget it. And you're pretty much the only one who's going to remember it because it was awkward for you, or maybe you feel like you embarrassed yourself. But other people aren't going to be so harsh on you. In fact, most people won't even judge you for it at all. In fact, you may even encounter situations where people think of it as being endearing because then they know that it kind of could be a sign that you're shy and they're going to then feel a bit of sympathy for you, or empathy even, that's a better term. They're going to feel empathic for you because they may have been in a similar situation themselves in the past. But anyway, my whole point here is you shouldn't overthink social blunders because people usually aren't going to be judging you for them. They're not going to immediately make fun of you for it. And if they do, they're a shitty person who cares what they think. In general, you just shouldn't worry or stress over it because, I mean, your reputation isn't going to be ruined. Even if you feel embarrassed for a split second or two, things will be fine, life will go on, and things will get better. So don't sweat it. But in general, practice not caring what people think of you as much because once you get to that place, when you make these social faux pas eventually or have these little blunder moments, you just won't care because you're not going to care what people think of you. That's where I'm at. I mean, there have been times where I almost purposefully create awkward moments just for the fun of it because they can be fun in some situations. And I don't care at all what people think of me for it. I just don't because it's a freeing place to be. Like I said, most of these people, you're never going to see them again. So why should you care what they think of you anyway? It's dumb. But anyway, I hope you found value in this video. And if you did, please give it a like because that helps the algorithm. That'll help my page grow so I can reach more people and hopefully help them with these videos as well. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Arrivederci!